Hello, everyone. Welcome to our next live show. It's our second show that we're coming at you from our little corner of Arizona and our ASAS Massage Education. I'm Michelle, I'm the Education Director for all of our 4 campuses. And today I'm going to be chatting with Carl Johns, who is our Flagstaff Campus Director. He's also our pretty much many things guru. I can go on and on about so many things that he does. But when I was thinking about some of the topics to cover this week, and particularly because we're nearing the end of the year, and with the end of the year and looking into the new year, we usually are looking forward to all the great things that are going to happen for people who've had struggles throughout the year before. We're ready to get that past us and move forward and look forward to everything coming ahead. With this year in particular, seems to be very challenging for many people. And I think a lot of us are waiting for this flip of that calendar page and hoping all these things are going to be fresh and we're going to have a lot of positive results and positivity all around us for many of the things. So we're going to chat a little bit about that and some of what comes with that outlook. And one of the reasons, so I chose Carl. So we have this, everyone here pretty much that knows Carl at ASAS knows that he's usually the most positive person you'll ever meet. No matter what kind of challenges we are faced with, you can always look to him for a good positive word or a quote or something that can uplift us a little bit to get us through our day, and to just know that if there's a sea of chaos, look for Carl, because he's going to be the one being calm and being our flight director pretty much, and going to let us know where our safety exits are in a calm manner. So he's always been that rock for us. And I know for me in particular, when we had to go online quickly and create different content and curriculum, there was never any stress, and that I owe a lot to Carl about that, because we just said, okay, this is what we got. This is what's going on. Let's get to work. Let's figure out what we need to do. And so I really love that attitude, and I've learned a lot from him. And so I want to introduce him to us and get to know him a little bit here. So welcome, Carl. Thanks for Carl.
Thanks for the jazz intro.
Yeah, I know. I made that especially for you. I asked Jessica, our registrar, I asked her, which one of these is more Carl-like? So we played a couple different versions, and I thought that was a good one. It got me toe-stepping myself. So thanks for that inspiration. I thought you'd like that. So, but Carl, tell us a little bit about yourself and what brought you into first our heart to ASIS, and also, what brought you into the field and what's some of your background.
Well, the kind of journey into the field started in the early to mid 90s, and I was a student of Tai Chi for a long time, and had a kind of a strong revelation back then that I wanted to work in some sort of healthcare related field where I could work one-on-one with people. And at some point I got a great massage, and it got me kind of pointed away from maybe PT or those kinds of things toward massage therapy, and started investigating schools. And I found the McKinnon Institute in Oakland, which became kind of a home for a good long period of time. So I studied body work there. I just a few years later began to teach there, wound up being co-owner of that school. So I have this kind of long and very relationship with the massage field as a therapist and as an educator, and I love it. I love bringing people into this work. Life brought Gina and I, my wife Gina, who also works with me here at the Flagstaff campus. We are doing amazing things up here. Life brought us down to Arizona in 2017 and right to ASIS. So I started teaching there, and then I moved around a little bit, but I've stayed with ASIS. I love the feel here. I love the kind of old school. It reminds me very much of McKinnon, which started in the 1970s. And I love also the kind of progressive looking at the field, doing everything that we need to do to stay current and still hold that kind of old school heart. So I'll say that a lot to students in orientations, like you're when you come to this place, you're in a really great place with some really great people.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you definitely bring that home for many, many of our students. You're definitely on the top list of a favorite educator for many. And those of you who don't know, Carl was here at the Mesa campus with us, and when we announced that he was moving up to Flagstaff, they were very unhappy people there. But talking to the Flagstaff students, they are just like, "Thank you for sending Carl and Gina, especially with their treats." Her baked goods. So yeah, it's we're so happy you two are finding your home there, and just being with you the other week. I was able to visit for a few days, and just seeing you all settled in and seeing the students all happy and things being so positive and wonderful there was great to see. So so again, another example of this positivity that just like radiates from both of you, and why I thought you were the perfect person to chat about this today. So so why do you think that on a person, I don't know if this is too personal for you, but why do you think, and do you think yourself, do you find yourself maybe a little more positive than other people, or that you get that comment a lot that people are always saying that you're like always in a good mood, or you'll never see Carl mad or any of that stuff? Is there any reason you think like that was like what something brought you to that, or your attitude towards life or anything like that? What do you think?
I think I've always kind of been like that. I mean, people have been teasing me about smiling forever.
Yeah.
As a little kid. So my mom and dad were really cool people, and I was brought up in a very loving environment. And I think it's kind of instilled a sense of, maybe I came with a little bit of calm too. I don't know what my past lives were like. But,
Yeah.
And then, when I was in my 20s and kind of into my 30s, I spent a lot of time looking at, Tai Chi, different kind of spiritual traditions and meditation and things that kind of bring a wide perspective to people. And it's not a bad place to be when the world does things like it's doing right now, because we step back and we realize, well, these things have happened before, and they will carry through to their natural end, and we'll move on, and everything will really be okay. And so, I try to take a nice wide view of things, and instead of with curriculum or something like that, when something comes like that, you just jump in,
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
I think that people probably more than they think right now, just there's a lot of opportunity that's kind of opening in front of people, because we've had this period. Can I just go on a little bit?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'd love to hear it.
I could say a little bit about, so I love Chinese medicine. I'm a shiatsu practitioner, and I've kind of been studying Chinese medicine on my own for 25 years. And the seasons are really important, and the winter season is the water, and we're all familiar with the water. It's a place where we have to kind of pull in, maybe survive a little bit, and wait for the next thing to happen. And we all get that. If we've had like the end of an important relationship or a job or a career, you get kind of dumped in the water. You're like, what am I going to do now? And the best thing to do in that period is to get internal, contemplate, wait, and see what arises, see what the springtime brings, what kind of surprises will come up. And I think what we've been through right now is an extended water element time. So it's gone on for a year or more. We're coming into the winter again, and by spring and summer, I suspect things are probably going to be a lot better. And then all those surprises that come in the spring, all that energy of like breaking out of this winter water season and getting busy and doing life, it's going to be so much more now because people have been in that mode for quite a while.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to that. That people can. I think a lot of people have been sitting back and maybe thinking like, what do I want to do now?
Mm-hmm.
Things have changed, and maybe the things that was doing now that I've had a little time to think about it and be quiet, maybe that's not what I want to do. And so I think there's going to be a lot of change. There's going to be a lot of people moving toward things that maybe are more fulfilling for them. Work that feels good, work that feels right. So
Yeah.
it's difficult times always bring positive things.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that people have been through a lot, and people have lost their people. Um, those are natural things. It's another kind of wide perspective of the spiritual approach or Taoist approach. We are here and we make the best of our time, and then we move
Mm-hmm.
on to the next thing. But I think for all of us, that are coming out of this, I see a lot of different things. This feels like it's going to be an interesting.
Yeah, I think that making use of our time is really a great thing to say, because I know a lot of people in this, and they had to shut down everything and go stay at home, and then some people losing their jobs, or not having as much work, or doing some other things. I've heard a lot of people taking up crafting things, or learning a new language, or trying something. Maybe it didn't last forever or something, but just at least to say, what else is out there, and what else could I possibly dab my toe in a little bit and see what's there. And maybe not just Netflix all day long, but doing something else as well. But I also hear from people that are coming in to check out the school, even, who are saying, I was just in this job and then I got let go because of things happened, and I realized that wasn't fulfilling to me anyway. And this is something I've always thought about, bringing that positive energy and that positive touch to people, which is kind of weird right now, right? With everyone saying don't touch anybody. But we're still here in the battlegrounds, if you will, and having to, I don't know, take charge even more. I'm thinking with having to bring that important part to everybody's lives. I was just doing a lecture last week or a week before with talking about infant massage, and how important that touch is for the 0 to 3 age in particular, because of the brain development and everything too. But it doesn't stop at that age. That's one of the reasons that we still say so many things are so great about massage, and the research is out there, and the building immunity, and of course decreasing pain and stress and all the other things. So it's still a necessity. And in this society, I feel touch is a little weird to little weird outlook, right? It's parents and babies and children, and then it's people in physical relationships, in long-term relationships. Everyone in between kind of gets dropped at the wayside, right? And so that's where we can come in and kind of fill that gap and make that connection again. So I think it's opened a lot of my eyes for a lot of people on that, how much they're missing, even just that slight touch from people, and handshaking and hanging out with people and being in that vicinity. And now we can actually, we're still in there doing all that stuff, and making up for lost time for a lot of the people. So, yeah.
Yeah, it feels so strange not to shake somebody's hand.
Yeah.
That's such a human cross-cultural thing. We touch each other to understand who this person is. What do they feel? We don't really know until we touch. So I think all of those things we understand as massage therapists, because we kind of train in this idea of touch, and we know how important it is, that it's this primal sense. And I think if we go back to maybe the times where we were in science class and we saw bacteria under a microscope, they're communicating through touch, right? They're gravitating towards something that feels good and away from something that doesn't. And that is, it is life. We understand the world through coming in contact through our skin.
Yeah.
And I think we know, because we're in massage schools, that people call every day because they're craving touch, right?
Yeah.
Let's open that clinic. Let's get going.
Yeah.
Let's get our massages.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The calls that we had from all the close down time, it was like, they're like, please, I won't tell anybody. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's tough, but it's good to know it's kind of a job security thing for us too, right? 'Cause that need is not going away.
It's interesting how this field has navigated through this and really done okay. You know,
Mhm.
uh,
Yeah.
other than a short period of time where everybody was kind of sitting at home, we've been pretty active. Uh,
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. Laura popped in and said, made a comment and said, thanks for going live and sharing. So, hi, Laura. Hope you're watching. Thanks for coming on. Yeah. So kind of going back to our positivity here in times of adversity, like, and with the new year, I kind of feel like this, when people are on a diet and they're like on the weekend, they're going to eat everything because Monday's coming and Monday's going to be a new fresh thing and everything's going to be perfect again on their diet. I kind of feel like that's what we do in the new year, that the minute the new year starts, everything's going to be perfect again. And we can start fresh again. And I think there's definitely going to be some new change of attitude and air about it and stuff when the new year changes. But in reality, there's always going to be something down the line that's going to get in the way of things, of how we're making our plans, our goals, our, what we're trying to do in life and everything. And we're going to have to figure out, this is maybe a wake-up call for all of us, that we still have to figure out how to move forward and how to be positive in these times of adversity. And I was laughing the other day, one of our instructors here, she said, I was taking your quote, what you say every time. Instead of being upset about something, say, it's an adventure. And I didn't realize I say that. And now when she pointed it out to me, I realize I say it all the time. Like, instead of getting upset when something happens that's out of my control, I just say, well, it's an adventure. Let's see what we're going to do now and navigate how we're going to navigate it. So I kind of like to think in that way, like, especially when something happens that is out of my control, I had nothing to do with, but does affect me. There's nothing I can change about how that happened, but I can definitely change my outlook on it as well. So putting those is really helpful.
We're confronted with adversity so that we can learn.
Yeah.
And if we didn't have it, we wouldn't learn.
Yeah.
And in that water element, and if we think about water again, cleverness is the way of water. That water will always make its way around or through or over or under whatever obstacles are in its way. It is an unstoppable force.
Yeah.
So we can emulate that. We can be an unstoppable force, and we know that the winter will bring us maybe a bumpy ride in terms of all the stuff that's been going on in the world. But that doesn't mean that we can't navigate that and hold a vision of where we want to go and what we want to do, and then you do what's necessary. You do little day-to-day things to get you there. Sometimes those things are a little uncomfortable, but it's what we have to do to
exactly,
and get to where we are visioning.
Right. And that's interesting what you said with vision. Like, you probably noticed about me, I'm really big into using my planner, my passion planner that I have, and I've been using it for a few years. I have it with me. And I know there's kind of ongoing joke, if you're on social media at all, you'll see the memes that say, why did I waste my money on a 2020 planner? It was like kind of a waste of anything, because all your plans went out the window. And I had a few months in my thing where I wasn't writing like I normally did. I usually do a Sunday night reflection and all this kind of stuff. And there's a big chunk in my planner where there's barely anything listed except for maybe specific meetings I had. And I said, you know what, what am I doing here? I've still got things to do. I still got plans to make. I still got people to see and all this other stuff. So I got my last year planner on top here, and I got my other one ready to go right here. So if you can see, we call it a planner chunk at the top one. It's got lots of stuff in there, because I feel like there's still so many things that I'm in control of, and the way that I can have an outlook, and maybe it might change, but that's why we have another page. Flip the page, try again, reset, and do it again. Yeah.
Yeah. And even, we hear this wise thing over, failure is just a learning,
Yeah.
So if it feels like you're up against it and it's not working, just figure it out, like, okay, I'm going to re-navigate this thing. Maybe I'm going to change my vision a little bit. Maybe my original vision wasn't quite what I need. All of that is okay. I always tell people always ask me, like, should I take this job? Should I do this? Should I do that? This is not the last decision you are ever going to make.
Yeah.
you can take it, and then if it doesn't work out, you'll steer a different direction. So, I think this, like I said, we have just a lot of opportunity in front of us, and don't get locked in. Just go.
Yeah,
Just get it done.
exactly.
Get up
Yeah,
every day, do something positive,
right.
move toward your goals, and change them if you need to, and
Yeah.
moving on.
Yeah, if it doesn't work exactly, we try again then.
Yeah,
We get a fresh slate. Absolutely. Yeah.
that's those people like Richard Branson and people like that. They have tanked many times
Mhm.
before they
Yeah.
became very successful, and they became successful because they were doing something that they loved to do. I think maybe the reflection here as we kind of come into that watery time is like, what would I love to do? And we
Mhm.
get that question all the time. If money weren't an issue, or if I could just do anything, if I had all the money in the world, I could do anything I want to do. And then people say, oh, these are the things that I want to do, but we think, oh, we can't do those things, but I think we can. And if we're doing something we love, then the world will start to open toward that.
Exactly.
People will find you because you're doing what you love.
Yeah.
So massage classes, I always tell people, you're going to learn all these different modalities. Some of them you may not like. You may
Mhm.
not resonate with them, and some of them you're going to love. So do the ones you love, because those people are going to come and find you because you did that.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and just try and think of some people. I just see one of our former students from our Prescott campus, Shayna, just popped on and said hello, and being thankful for us going live and giving some reflective thoughts as well. Shayna, we miss you too. Thank you so much for all you did on our campus and your positivity that you brought during a very stressful time too. So yeah, I'm glad to see all our friends here popping up and saying hello. So that's awesome. And that's what makes it worth it a lot too, is our students that are leading that charge too in the classroom, and with being going with the flow, and knowing that we're all in this together, right? I have a friend who says, I hate that phrase, it sounds so silly. I'm like, but it is what it is, right? So yeah. Oh, Brooke says hi, Carl. Brooke Ryan.
Hey, Brooke.
Yeah. Hey, good to see you, Brooke. Thanks for joining us.
Cool.
Absolutely. So, do you have any few tips? We're probably coming to our close in the next couple minutes here. Some tips of maybe some self-care or some active steps that people can take to try to get those positive outlooks, and what can we try to do? Like little baby steps that might be, because it might seem very overwhelming to just be like, all right, everything's great and rainbowy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is my kind of feel for all the stuff that we're going through right now. And one of those things is to try to do everything you can to stay healthy, keep your body healthy, keep your mind clear, minimize your contact with the news and I pay attention to those things, but I'm not consumed by them.
Mm-hmm.
If we sleep well and eat well and drink some clean water every day, and just do things that are really basic, without getting into the chemistry of nutrition or any of that kind of stuff. Just eat some real food, drink some good water, get out and breathe some fresh air, move your body a little bit, get away from the worry and the fear, which are not good for your immune system.
Mm-hmm.
So stress and fear, they're rough on your body and your immune system and your organ system. So get a massage. What an amazing self-care. I always tell people I can take you in 60 minutes to some place that it would take you 6 months or more of difficult work to get to in meditation. Right? So people don't like to meditate because it's kind of difficult. I
Yeah.
mean, you have to really kind of train yourself into it. But everybody loves to get a massage. And you can get to a deep space, a space of insight. I have these moments often in massage or in acupuncture where I'm laying on a table and just kind of blissed out a little bit, and I'm like, oh, I know what I should do with the rest of my life. And I don't always do it, but it's like that clarity and get away from the messiness.
Yeah.
That's the gift. That's the gift that we have in this time, is to kind of pull back, maybe don't pay attention to all that stuff, get healthy, stay
Yeah.
healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we, speaking of other students too, we just have one more comment. I don't want to lose it. Lacey Hall says, hi. Thanks, you guys. You always have the right things to say to help me when I need it. Miss you tons. We miss you a bunch too. And I can tell you some of our instructors are missing you for helping with attendance always. So she is always helpful with that. So come back and see us, man. So yeah, I think that's amazing. Great tips, simple things that we can all do. It's not going to cost us change our whole lifestyle or anything, but little baby steps that we can do for that positivity and just feeling overall better. So that's great. So I know this is Carl, this is what you do. So I'm going to see, do you want to close out with a quote?
I have 2 or 3 that I'd like to.
Okay, let's go for it.
So I'm opening up the quote machine.
Yeah.
Which I hear you can make a phone call on.
Yeah.
This is from Bernard Shaw, and I'm going to edit this a little bit, but this is the true joy of life, the being used for a purpose, recognized by yourself as a mighty one. I am of the opinion that my life belongs to the community, and as long as I live, it is my privilege to do whatever I can. I want to be thoroughly used up when I die. For the harder I work, the more I live. I rejoice in life for life's own sake. Life is no brief candle to me. It is a sort of splendid torch, which I have got a hold of for a moment, and I want to make sure it burns as brightly as possible before handing it on to the next generation. Those are really beautiful words, and they're very passionate, and they're coming from somebody who loves what they do.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to work until we die if we don't love what we're doing. But what he's saying is, if you can let yourself out and really, do what you love, then that work is a joy, and you'll want to do that, and you'll be a part of a community. You'll be that cog in the community that is doing exactly what they should be doing to support the whole. So I love that passionate thing. He gets a little nasty in there and says, stop sniveling and get busy.
Sometimes you need that advice too.
Yeah. And I just wanted to put in. There's a lot of quotes in the machine here.
Yeah.
According to the Kalahari Bushmen, an individual's separation from that part of themselves that is connected to everything else leads to fear and a sense of aloneness, and this facilitates the disease process. That's so much about what we've been talking about in terms of like, just let go of all that stuff and all the negativity around you, and hold on to your community and the things that connect you with other people. And then the last thing from Wendell Berry, the community is the smallest unit of health.
Oh, I love it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And just to say, without getting into it too much, there's been an interesting dynamic around this of people, out in public when they're coming into contact with people, and it's hard to see people smile and all that kind of stuff. Let's hold on to the stuff that connects us.
Mm-hmm.
We've always had it, and I think we can still have it. And we're just going to move through this and let opportunity rise up. Let the spring open up with new possibility and move.
Yes. I love it. That is great, and that's a great note to end on with our positive vibes today. Carl, if somebody wanted to get in touch with you and find out a little bit more about the Flagstaff campus, what's the best way for them to do that?
They can find us in Flagstaff. So come in here and see me. Come and visit. Our phone number is 928-226-1400. So you can always reach me there. My email is cjohns@asismassage.edu. Would be happy to throw it back and forth if anybody wants to talk about anything. So yeah, just use those things.
Awesome. That's great. Yeah, I'm telling you, if you're in visiting Flagstaff, stop by. Just say hi to Carl. He would love to take you in and say hello.
Yep,
And you don't have no pressure or anything. Just saying hi. And so, yeah, we'll have a really great time. This is supposed to be a 15-minute conversation. We've done a half an hour. This always happens with you, Carl.
Wow.
All good stuff. It's all good
I guess
stuff.
we're gonna have to do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll keep coming up with different topics to talk about and our other feeds. We're going to try to do these live streams every week. So we'll try to get into a groove on what we're going to do and maybe come up with a little bit of a schedule. So just kind of getting our feet wet with it right now. So I'm looking forward to keep doing more. And I love to talk to you all the time. So we'll keep finding more topics. Maybe you can introduce me to some jazz players and we'll do jazz with Carl one day. We could possibly
do a whole jazz thing.
So to everyone live or anyone's watching the broadcast later, I wanted to say thank you very much for joining us. We hope you have a very happy, healthy new year, and let's look at those forward to those positive vibes in 2021. So thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.